What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Divided Nation News. Got a special report here about Smartmatic and Dominion software. U.S. presidential election software that is showing alleged signs of being hacked, manipulated, not just tampering. I think tampering would be an understatement. This is pretty huge, people, so please help me to share this video far and wide. I think worldwide, everybody is going to want to hear about this one, and you're probably not going to get this much collective information in too many other videos. I had to cross-reference multiple sites, information, articles, newsreels, and trying to figure out what is accurate information, what can we prove, what's hearsay, what is reasonable suspicion and evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. And so today we're going to go ahead and dig in and scratch beyond the surface. And trust me when I tell you, the rabbit hole goes way deeper than what I'm about to share with you. Okay, so as we know, Dominion is a software company that is based in Toronto, Canada. What the heck was the US government doing using outsourcing to another corporation for this software in their voting machines that are not USA companies? I don't know. Not that it would be any more trustworthy if it was USA companies, but what the heck? That is very weird and strange to me. So let's get into it. There's a company called Smartmatic. Y'all ever heard of them? Well, Smartmatic purchased a company called Sequoia some years back. I don't know if people are familiar with it. I actually didn't even know who Sequoia was until just recently, about a week ago, and I started doing some digging. That's why I needed to get back to you guys and do this video. So Smartmatic is a company that was established in 1997. It was started by 3 Venezuelan engineers. Okay. There's a lot of shady stuff you can go back to and see the elections that happened in Venezuela. There were so many things that happened with the voting elections in Venezuela. I have to do a separate video about that, but that's another story. But Smartmatic, just as an example, to give you an example, Florida, Arizona, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan used Smartmatic voting machines back in 2016. Okay, all right. So what else? How much deeper does it go? Well, it seems that Eric Coomer, the vice president of Dominion, has been outspoken about some certain things, and he's definitely said at least a couple comments that I was able to find that definitely incriminated himself. There's no doubt about that for sure. So let's get into it. Basically, here's what I do know, okay? Going back to an example, remember I've talked about Michigan and Pennsylvania, a lot of shady stuff going on. Well, there were 6,000 votes that were reallocated for Trump to Biden, okay? And it was proven that that happened. It's not, did it happen? Is it possible? No, that did happen. We do know that there was 6,000 votes that were reallocated for Biden that were supposed to be for Trump. Eric Coomer, the vice president of Dominion, his comment was, well, that was human error. Really, dude? Human error? Okay, that's what he says. What's interesting, being the second largest, voting machine company in the United States, I thought it was pretty interesting to note, Dominion has obviously, some ties, with federal government. I mean, how else would they be able to strike up that deal and make this contract? It's like, so they claim that the mainstream media claims there is no evidence whatsoever of voter fraud. Okay, so far they're blaming it on glitches. There was 2,000 votes in Michigan that actually went all for Biden. They said that was a glitch. Those 6,000 votes in Michigan that were reallocated to Biden from Trump, they said that was human error. So far we got glitches and human error, right? They're using as the scapegoat. What's crazy, though, is actually Eric Coomer, the vice president of Dominion, really incriminated himself. He told election officials in Illinois, quote, "You can bypass the software and go directly into the database of the vote count system. You can change whatever you need to as long as you have permission to do so." Now, this is based on his own admission. He said you can bypass the software and go directly into the database of the vote count system as long as you have permission. So why would they leave a system like this wide open? We're going to have to just think about these questions. Why would they do this? Why wouldn't they protect the system more? Oh, God, for the life of me, I don't know. It seems like they wanted this to happen. On one side or the other, somebody wanted this to happen, and they allowed it to happen. But as far as, the vice president of Dominion, he is a avid supporter of hate groups like Antifa. That's very interesting to note. I thought that it was very interesting that somebody had actually accused him recently on his Twitter page of voter tampering, and either him himself or Twitter deleted his account. Also interesting to note that the vice president of Dominion has also deleted all of his social media accounts. What is up with that? Seems like the guy's trying to hide something, trying to go off the map. I don't know. Seems a little shady to me. So, has anyone ever heard of Skydell servers? I didn't even know what that was until days ago. So, I tried to find evidence about a military operation that shut down the company and seized software that they had that was or possibly allegedly election hacking software. But what's interesting to note is not only can the engineers, for example, in Dominion do that, but also it allowed election officials in the individual states actually the ability to go in and change votes. There's a lot of reports of people, specifically Republicans, that are claiming that they literally, as they were voting for Trump on the screen, they were seeing their vote change to Joe Biden right in front of their face at that moment. Okay, you got a lot of people that are, seeing that, wait a minute, I didn't vote for Biden. Why did my vote go over there? So there's also that as well. Obviously, there's a lot of evidence of mail-in ballot fraud. It's not just the cyber systems and the software that have been compromised. And there's also individuals outside of the country, separate entities that also could be part of this as well. So going back to company Smartmatic, also similar to Dominion, you got the company Sequoia that was purchased by Smartmatic. Do your research on that. What's interesting is that the GOP was talking about, I think it was just days ago in a press conference, that there were 47 counties, Michigan GOP says, that were using the same software. But as far as a total, Dominion, 28 states, I believe it's 28 states in the U.S. that use this software, right? So it's approximately 40% of voters that are using this software. That's a lot of people. So you think about how many votes could have been switched at the time that people were making their votes, specifically against Republicans for the left. In Michigan, actually in Oakland County, that's where the 2,000 votes for Biden were considered a clerical error. So you got glitches, clerical errors, and human errors. Okay, right. What's interesting to note, sometimes we hear about George Soros, and, George Soros is known as a billionaire investor, philanthropist. He's known as that guy, that rich guy, but also he's been at the head of some controversy in the middle of, accusations being paid by political protesters. There was actually some videos way back that were saying, hey, George, where's our money? They shut that down real quick. You can see that they had actually invested through one of his foundations, $220 million for what was it? I think it was racial equality. I'm trying to remember exactly what it was, but the amount, $220 million a year before an election, investing in that, rich people usually don't do that. And if George is investing his money in connection with his foundations, you can believe there's definitely a motive behind it. But what I thought it was interesting to note, if you look at on Open Society's foundation, Okay, actually, George Smart. Actually, as far as on Smartmatic's website, they actually admit that George Soros and the chairman, which his name is Lord Mark Ballock Brown. Lord Mark Ballock Brown, he has personal and business relations with Soros in the Open Society Foundation. But to see that he admitted on Smartmatic's website that he's friends with George Soros and they have personal and business relations, to hear him admit that tells you about as much as you need to know. So what do we got here? We got Smartmatic, we got Dominion, we have clear contradictions in their software, and to see that Eric Coomer, the vice president of Dominion Systems, has admitted and said different things were human error or glitch or this or that, regardless of whatever the issues were. When it comes, I mean, how many people agree with me? When you have software like this, it's got to be damn near perfect, 99.9999999%. Like, it's got to be, I mean, damn it, 100% encrypted, foolproof. Who would allow this software to roll out, seeing that it was half-assed and knowing it was going to glitch? It seems to me just like the fact that we only have a couple options for president, even though they said there was a total of 1,300 people that ran for president this year. You can see the list. Kanye West was one of them. I didn't even know who Jo Jorgensen was, and I saw she was third on the ballot. Jo Jorgensen, they didn't even allow her in the debate. I didn't even know who she was until like a day before the election or whatever. And I was like, well, who's this? The fact that there's only a couple people we get to choose from kind of proves to everybody, I think, that the system is rigged. But the fact that they allowed this system to operate for U.S. presidential election is outrageous. And it shows there is a massive cover-up, dirty business happening right now. Please get this out there. Share this. Subscribe and get it out there worldwide. Smash that like button. Let's make this one go viral. Help me to get the word out there so that people understand there is a massive discrepancy in voter fraud tampering in the 2020 U.S. presidential election. Thank you all for tuning in. Check you all in the next one.